All right, so there are a few implications of exponential developing technology. Let's jump into this. Digital manufacturing, which is basically 3D printing. The advantage of 3D printing is not that the 3D printed item is cheaper and lighter. The advantage is that it can be printed anywhere. I've been consulting a company in the aerospace, so they were printing parts for airplanes, and they told me that they want to replace the machinery to 3D printers because it's going to be so much lighter that they can sell everything a lot cheaper and still make more money. And I told them that they've misunderstood the technology because 3D printers will not, the advantage of 3D printers in aviation is not that it's lighter and cheaper to sell with higher margin. The advantage is that the 3D printer will be in the plane and it will 3D print the spare part during the flight. And the company who's providing the spare parts needs to know which part needs to be 3D printed during the flight and just sends the cut file to the plane to make sure that onboard 3D printing will happen. And during onboarding, offboarding, cargo on and off, the maintenance can happen and the plane doesn't have to be grounded. That's the advantage of 3D printing. And then there is another story I'd like to share with you. Some of you might have heard this before, a conversation between the CEO of Domino Pizza and the manager of the Coca-Cola company. And the CEO of Domino Pizza said, we're a data company now. And the Cola guy said, yeah, we understand that data is hugely important. We also look into data science. And the Domino Pizza guy said, no, we just hired 250 high-end data scientists. And it turned out that Domino Pizza is hiring 800 people, of which 600 are data scientists and 200 make pizza. Because they know what the future pizza will be 3D printed in the oven. And I might design my pizza that Johan likes. So Johan just buys for 99 cents my pizza file and I make 60 and Domino Pizza makes 30%. And that's how the new business model will work for Domino Pizza, because understanding that if you're a pizza service, the fact that from the oven to the mouth is wasted time, so it needs to be eliminated, change their business strategy completely. Smart material, that's important in healthcare. Skin is smart material. Smart material basically means, for example, that material knows if it's stiff or if it's solid or flexible. Skin knows when it has to be solid and when it has to be flexible. That's a huge topic with prostheses, because that's, of course, a part is not your body and then part is your body, and where is the transition? And that's an issue that they have. And they developed already material that knows, like skin, when to be stiff, when to be solid, and when to be flexible. But in 3D printing, you will see technology that the material that's going to be 3D printed will be informed, shall it be flexible or solid, before it hits the printer head. So the filament will get, the filament is that plastic that goes to the printer head and puts layer over layer to basically create the object. The filament will be informed after the printer head, you're a flexible material or you're solid material, and that's smart material, and that changes a lot. I don't know if you heard of 4D printing, which is the concept of self-assembling. The idea is that cells double and double again and create the form factor. Why can't we tell our table that it should change the form factor because we're going to have 11 people over dinner tonight? So the table changes form factor being big enough for 11 people. That sounds like spooky science, but that's what we're talking about when it goes into these life sciences and you meet the Autodesk people in San Francisco. Crazy stuff. At the end of the day, we have humans and computers, and both have skills that work together pretty well. Generative design is one way of looking into the design thinking process together with a computer, together with the machine, to create designs that the human could never think of from computing power, and then combine with human preferences or pick with human preferences what the product will look like. Healthcare, I mentioned that before, CRISPR and Cas9, write DNA, you change the lineage, so it's not about it's not about curing cancer, it's about not getting cancer. And that's a huge topic, and it's not so far out. And also, in healthcare, I'm not going to go into this stuff, so sorry for that. 3D printing, I mentioned that before. Medication, that's something that you see already in supplements. So the supplement is 3D printed because doses is a huge issue with supplements. Most of the supplements are overdosed. And then you have too much of the stuff where part of it would actually be good in your body. Same as with medication. When you 3D print the pills exactly the dosage that you need it, you will have a very individualized medication that's way more efficient than if you put one sort of pill for everyone. We can already print lifelike organs in minutes, and organs, 3D printed organs and tissues is something that's probably in the state of being announced very soon. I can remember at TED 2012 when Anthony Atala came on the stage and presented a 3D printed kidney that was printed in 6 hours, not operational yet, but the patient came on the stage with a bladder, with a 3D printed bladder, who got that implanted and successfully lives with it. So that's something that we can also see, and it's actually a beautiful idea that we can continue living without someone else who would have to die to provide us with an organ. So I was about to talk about longevity, but I'm going to skip this or just briefly cover this. In healthcare, longevity is a huge topic. So that also goes together with CRISPR and Cas9 and also protein folding and the cells that are renewed every 7 years, but can actually be renewed 200 times in a lifetime. So that basically means that we are going to experience juvenility, what's the word? Juvenization. So we're going to be younger because our cells are going to be gradually brought back to not becoming so old, but being replaced more often. And it also means that we're not gradually dying starting by age 30, but we live a way longer life in higher vitality. And humans are built for 125 years. That's kind of the science rule by thumb thing that they say. So why not just live 124 years and 10 months in full vitality, and then just reduce the time where your body stops functioning down to a few weeks, that you just have time to farewell from your friends, family, and beloved. So that's about healthcare. Computing power, I can remember that Tim Cook, are you ready, a few years ago said that the form factor of the iPhone is outdated. So that basically means that we're going to have everything that the iPhone does for us in a different form factor. Shall it be contact lens or part of our glasses or somewhere else attached or inside of our body? We don't know. That's definitely going to be something that still is far away from having hit the exponential ceiling. Research and science, we've just seen this last year with the development of the vaccination. A lot of factors supported a 1-year development, but also the fact that we can do simulations a lot faster than before. AI and machine learning, baby steps, but it will not take a lifetime of a human to graduate from baby steps to being mature. Games is a huge industry. Quantum computing is basically the underlying principle. So just very roughly, for those who don't know the difference between computing today and quantum computing, computers today can only have one state, and that's 0 versus 1. But the electron can have several states at the same time. And that's how quantum computers are dramatically faster than the binary computers that we're all still working on.